This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. So today, it will be going to be will practice. In fact, it will be interactive session. So I will go through these practice problems, and you have to paste that code in the chat by writing it in the chat window, and I'll uh, validate it. So if there are any corrections, we can do it. So we'll do some of them, and then later on, you you can continue and uh, complete these tasks. And we'll see, combining all these topics, how to build a mini calculator. So combining all these topics that we have learned from day 1 to day 6, we'll build a mini calculator so that will combine all our topics, and in fact we'll see how to write conditional statements, loops, functions, all those together at one place. Okay. So let's start. So you can paste uh, this code in the chat. Okay. So take a user input and greet the user. So the output should be in this format. Just write it in the chat. How would you print it?
Okay, sir, 1 minute.
Okay. Okay. So I see that you have sent this code. Okay. Let me start sharing. Let's review this. Okay. So this is correct. So one thing you need to make sure is use formatted string F double quotes around it. So whenever you are using print text along with the variable that you are printing, then you should use, and you should take input from the user also. So that would be name equal to input, input of enter the username. Enter the name. Okay, so along with the text, we want to print the variable name, then we'll use formatted string. So F double quotes inside it, you have to print. Okay, so let's start with the next. Okay, so you can start working on this next. Check if number is even or odd. So I will give you a hint. So here hint is first we need to find out what is the logic. So what is the logic to find a number is even or odd? If it is divisible by 2, then that is even, else it is odd. So we have seen in expressions various uh, right multiplication, division, modulus. So you can take those and find whether number is odd or even. Okay, so you can print that code in the chat once you are ready. Okay, so yeah, this is perfect. So we are taking this logic. So here you notice the logic building is very important. So this part we are using conditional statement to build our logic. So conditional statements we are using, and this is a formatting. Good. Okay, so just double quotes around it. In enter. Okay, so you have given int and int, so it should be input. Input. Sorry, input should be inside int of input. 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 Okay. So 10 is even. 11 is odd. Okay. So now you can write one more program. Find the largest of two numbers. Or you can pick this also. Use for loop. So anyone is fine. Use for loop to print numbers 1 to 10.
In third program, which keyword should we use?
Okay. So here the hint is you can use max function. So max of a comma b. So a is one variable, b is one variable. So a will have one value, b will have one value. So max function, using max function, it will check which number is maximum of 2. Or one more thing you can do, you can write if conditions. So two hints, like this is one way. Another way is you can write if condition to find out which number is largest from a given of two numbers. From a given two numbers, how which number is the largest one? Okay, so okay, yeah, this. Let me check this. So we are taking one input and another input and finding the largest of two. Okay, so to define this variable, you need to use, if you want to define this type of variable, you need to use dot format function. Dot format of largest. So that way it will take this format. So the largest number is, or you can just directly take this. So you can look at it like if you want to define just empty curly braces, how to access a variable's value with just curly braces, you have to use dot format function. So you can revisit this later and find out. So this is not working here, but I have changed this to F string. Okay, so let me enter 10, 20. So 20 is the largest. Okay. So you can quickly write a program to print numbers from 1 to 10 using a for loop. Okay, let's see. So, okay, so you have written in this way. So where is for? You have to start with for loop. So here it should be for. It should start with for loop. For I in range 1, comma 11, print I. This is correct. So what is the other way to do it? So this is you're doing it manually. So this is perfect. It's bringing 1 to 10. But what's the way to dynamically do this same thing? So you can use for I in range, and you can declare n here. N is equal to 10. For I in range, 1 comma 1 comma n, and print I. So you can see it prints from 1 to 9. Actually, it's prints from 1 to 9. So what I need from 1 to 10. So I can do n plus 1. Same thing. You have done 11. So I'm doing n plus 1. So it's a way to dynamically define. So tomorrow, like my number might change. So it might be 20 something else. So that way I can handle those kind of scenarios. Yeah, perfect. That is fine. So next, calculate the sum of first n natural numbers. So let me explain you, give you a hint. So here the hint is, so we have n equal to 10. So that means each and every number should be added. So that means your final result would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus so on up to 10. So how would you write a program? So that would add all natural numbers. So you can write it.
Sir, here we should use which keyword?
Okay, so here you can use um, range, for loop and range. For loop, inside the for loop, you can do a summation. So inside the for loop, you can do sum. This is one thing, or uh, another way is declare an output variable. Declare an output variable. So that will hold our final result. Okay. So that would hold my final result. So I can say result equal to 0. Then I will write per I in range. So inside this, I will write my logic. So here will be my logic. So I will sum it up, and the final result I will store it. Since I have declared result equal to 0, the final result I will store in result variable. Then print result variable. You can try this. You have to write the logic here. And what would be the range? You can declare the number what we are using here. Okay, so let me try this. What you have written. Sum equal to 0 for I in range 1 comma. Okay, so n value also you have declared it here, right? Uh, so let me take n equal to 10 here. Yeah, this is correct. So what we are doing here, so this kind of programs, what we have to do is you notice we are declaring an output result, output variable. We are declaring output variable separately and setting it by default 0. Then what we will do is in for loop, we'll loop it one by one and calculate this logic, then store it again here. So this statement is finally equivalent to sum equal to sum plus 1. So this is our logic. So that calculates our natural numbers. So this is our logic and this is our print. So what I mentioned here, right? So first you have to declare output variable, then loop through that n numbers. What our number n number is 10. Then calculate the logic, then store in the results, and finally print it. So that is how we are doing it here. So similarly, you can complete this factorial and reversing a string. Okay, so let's do. So we have seen this. Let's do for string. So how do you reverse a string? So let's let me know what program how you write it. So
Sir,
let's consider any string. Yeah. Okay. You're saying
I,
something?
I need to practice strings, sir. I'm not that good.
Okay. 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 No problem. So we'll see. So let's say a string is A, B, C, D, E. So first we have seen slicing and dicing, right? Slicing and dicing. So the same concept we can use. It's start, stop, end. So similarly, like since we want to reverse, we want to reverse the string. We want to access the string from in the reverse order. So I'll say -1. So -1 means I'm accessing the string in reverse order. So see, I'm accessing E. So then what I will say, go back. So it's not bringing in reverse order. It's going. It's going in reverse order, but it's not bringing me the text or string in reverse order. So for that, what I have to say, start and end. So I need to say start and end is nothing. So that way it will bring my thing in reverse order. So this is a simple way. So you can do the same thing using for loop also. Like loop through each of the string and print in reverse order. So that way also you can do it. The same way, how do you count vowels in a string? We have seen string methods. So notice on the question, input a string. So given a string. So there is a string. Our string is A, B, C, D, E, something. And we have to declare vowels. So since it's asking us to count how many vowels, so similar to this problem, where we have declared our result equal to 0, right? So in the string problems, what we will do, since it has asked us to check how many vowels are there in a string, so we will define that vowel since we know what are vowels. So I'll define A, E, I, O, U. So that is how it will work. So now I need to compare this with this. So you can write for loop for I in for V. I'll say this V. I'll say this S for V in S. And one more thing you notice, it's asking us to count the number of strings. So again, what we will do, we'll declare the output variable count equal to 0. So this is how we'll do problem solving in Python. So we have to carefully read the question and decide what all the variables that I declare that hold my output variable. Is there any variable that I declare to complete my problem? So since this part I know that I need to check in vowel, so I will define the vowel here. So here I'll say uh, count equal to count plus 1. Then finally print. What should I print? What I need to do? Count. So I'll print count outside the for loop. So you can see this is not in the for loop. Now it's counting 6. So is my are my vowel 6? 1, 2, 3. So it's not 6, only 3. So I need to define my logic here to handle that. Okay. So you can write this program. You can complete this to count a number of vowels in a given string. So you can take input as uh, any string that user can provide. Same thing, check if string is palindrome or not. So this is very, these are very important programs. So this will build our logic. How do we work with strings, as well as a lot of interview questions. These type of questions are asked to test us. So if we are hands on, if we keep practicing this, so we'll be able to remember this quickly and complete this in time. The same thing, print multiplication table of a number. So this is also very interesting program. So we can complete this. Next, we'll see a mini project. Okay, build a text-based calculator. Okay, so what are the project requirements? Ask the user two numbers. So we'll ask user two numbers. So that means we have to define a equal to input of enter first value, then b equal to input of enter second value. Okay. So based on the question, we are going by. Okay. Ask the user for two numbers. Since it ask, that means we need to prompt the user to input. So that is okay. So what we'll say will int. So since we are entering numbers in the calculator, we'll wrap it around to an integer because we don't want anyone to enter letters in our calculator. Okay. So let me, if I enter A, it will error out. So that's why we are using int so that our calculator does not break. Okay. So next we are saying ask which operation to perform. So we are not doing it directly. So we will ask user, what do you want to perform in calculator? Do you want to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? So same way, I'll say, okay. So add equal to in input of enter um, okay, so what we'll do, we'll define just one operation. What kind of operation you want to perform? So input of enter is operation. So we'll give options: plus, minus, multiplication, and division. So we'll give these options to the user. Okay, so let me run this. I'll run this once again. So 10, 20, and we are asking what kind of operation you want to perform, plus, minus, something. So we'll say plus. So now whatever he input, we want to take that. Okay, so we'll say, we'll write conditions. If operation, so the user has input the plus symbol. So we'll say if operation equal to plus, then what we have to do? We'll say print print sum of okay, print a plus b. Print, we'll say print a plus b. So let's do simple. We'll do a formatting later on. Okay, so 10, 10, 20, and plus. So it will add it. So based on the user's operation. So similarly, so whatever we are doing is a logic building here. Okay. So the above part is we decided what inputs to take from the users. And now this is logic building. So same thing. What I will do, I'll copy it here. If if user entered minus, then I want to do minus. If user entered multiplication, I want to do multiplication. If user entered division, I want to do division. So notice if we are changing here, we need to change in the print also. Division. Okay, so we do 20, 10. So now it's asking what operation you want to perform. So I'll say divide. So it will divide the value. Now let's say we want to continuously run this program for at least 3 times. So what we can do, we can write this entire thing in. We can let's say I'll define n is equal to 3 while I less than 3. So we have 4 operations. So we'll give 4 chances for the user to write. I is equal to 3. I less than or equal to 4. Execute all these. Indentation. Okay. So whenever we are writing while loop, it will take 4 spaces. So all our code should come here. This is how we have to modify it. Mm. Okay, so let me run it. Does not match outer level indent. Okay, so this kind of problems you will face in Python because indentation is very important. So see, my last if condition is not properly indented. So I need to properly give spaces that makes it in the proper block. So this means I'm writing everything in my while loop. While loop, 4 spaces. Everything should come 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. So one more space should come here. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me try run this. Okay, so this ran. So let me quickly check. Okay, so this is how uh, it will look like. So, okay, so let me run this from here. Okay, so I'm using a while loop. So this is a continuous loop. So until you give Q, that means we want to exit. Until you do not say you want to exit, it will keep on running. Okay, so first number 10, second number 20, and operation is plus, and again it started. You can see using a while loop. So while loop is causes infinite loop. So that means we are saying every time it's true. So similarly, we can define how many times it should run by default, like I equal to I less than some number. So the while loop will go into infinite loop. So if you see the icon here, it says it's still running. Okay, so it's still running. So until you quit it, it will keep on running. So if you enter any invalid number, then it will break the program. Could not convert a string to float. And here you can see a number cannot be divided by 0, right? So anything divided by 0 is infinity. So those kind of scenarios also we can handle. So if whatever the number user has entered, if it is not equal to uh, sorry, it's not equal to 0. Okay, even if it is not equal to 0, then only divide the number. So this is a check. We are doing a check so that the program should not error out. Checking divide by 0. Okay, so everything whatever we have did, so we are putting in while loop so that we keep on looping this calculator of small calculator program, so that we give the user option again and again to execute it. And here you can see if, else, elif, and inside the division we wrote again, so with a indented block 1 2 3 4. So that means this block of code comes under this elif. So this is multiple level of conditional statement, nested conditional statements. We are using it to build this robust uh, calculator program. Then if you enter Q, it will exit. So we talked about break statements, right, in the looping. So if you enter Q, okay, no, at the operation, if you enter Q, it will break it. So let me run it. So if you say 10 as a number, 20 as another number, then we have an option here. You can see, choose an operation, plus, minus, multiplication, or division, or enter Q to quit. So enter Q to quit. Then it exited out of while loop. So here you can see book kind of icon. So that means our program is not running. So if you see this, now our program is running here. So it's in the loop. So this we can build it. We can write it in our program. Elif, Elif. So I showed you first in a simple way, so that we can, whenever we have some problem statement, so this is how we need to address. First, what is being asked? So the request is ask the user. So that means, okay, so based on the question, we read that, okay, so we need input from the user. So that means we'll use input function, because that is the way we can get value while running. And ask, so you can notice the question, ask which operation. So again, by reading the question, we are able to understand that we need to use input function, because we need to take operation values while user executes the program. We need to take his inputs and perform operation. Then based on what he gives, we can write conditional statements. If this operation, whatever in value he input, equal to plus, minus, star, or division, elif. And here, same case. We can check write one more condition logic to check if our calculator is divide by zero. If our numbers are divided by zero or not. So only if the number is not divisible by zero, then we'll divide. Otherwise, we'll get an error. So to prevent errors in the program, we'll do these kind of checks. Okay. So this is how this mini project. So this will cover everything what we have learned so far. It will cover loops, uh, while loop, as well as it will cover conditional statements, so nested conditional statements, and how to build a logic. So majorly in programming is the logic building using those statements. So whatever the concept we have, right, conditional statements, for loops, while loop, all these things are there to finally build some logic. So that is the main crux of our final program. Yeah. Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll wind up today's session.
Question, sir.
Okay. Okay then. So we'll end it here. Meet tomorrow.